29 lives lost, a plane shot in the sky, another plane, bang, 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 on the ground that was leaving from Mexico to fly to Sinaloa, all in response to Ovidio Guzman, Joaquin El Chapo's son, being taken into custody yesterday. And of course, a couple years back, they famously grabbed him and had to let him go. And as soon as they got him this time, pitched battles in the streets, but the Mexican military was much more prepared this time. There were 10 military casualties, 19 on the Sinaloa or Ovidio's people's side that we know of so far. Thankfully, no civilian casualties that we know of. So all you glass aficionados better stock up ASAP. Ovidio Guzman, whose nickname was the Mouse, has been captured. Like I said, he was immediately taken to Altiplano prison, High Plains, I guess, which is Mexico's equivalent to Florence ADX, in the sense that the most dangerous and important prisoners are taken there because it's the most secure, though that's the prison that his dad secured his escape from the second time, if you want to call having a tunnel built under your cell with lights and a motorcycle in it escaping. It sounds more like, I think every single official that was working at the prison at that time has been indicted in relation to that case. And the reason I sarcastically said all you glass aficionados better stock up is because Ovidio and his brother's primary business, at least that the U.S. federal government is going after him for right now, is the operation of 12 METH super labs in the Culiacan area. Culiacan's the capital of Sinaloa, and it's become the capital of production of that particular substance. And Ovidio and his brother's 11 labs are supposedly pumping out up to 10,000 pounds a month of the stuff. I guess pounds in LA are going for $2,000 to $3,000 each, which is shockingly low price. So let's just say Ovidio and them are pocketing, say, 1,000 a pound, which, boy, that's not much a pound. I mean, meth seems to be pretty powerful, even compared to cocaine. But so 10,000 pounds, if they're getting 1,000 in their pocket each, is 10 million a month, 120 million a year. Now, that's just off that illegal business. Of course, Sinaloa, Ovidio, they extort businesses. There's still the reefers and the yayos and the fentanyl. So who knows how much they were making. Of course, him being captured isn't going to stop the production of the stuff. And incidentally, to my knowledge, Los Angeles County is the only major county in the country where people losing their lives from overdose on substances, that METH is the #1 cause of OD, losing of your life in LA County, not opioids, which shows, how flooded LA is with that stuff, how cheap it is. Think about it. If you get it, let's just say you get a pound for 3,000, it's 16 zips. So what's that? That's 200. You're basically paying $200, 190. So say you're a guy selling it. You buy a pound for $3. So you only get 200 ounce. That's $25 an 8-ball. So you could sell teeners for 25, gram and a half for 25, and be doubling your money and probably run through that thing in a day. So there's probably guys running through, bring a pound down to Skid Row or something, turn your 3,000 into 6,000 in a day, just selling 25s. If you remember back in 2019, of course, the Mexican army got a hold of a video, and there was a video of that. I think they kind of stumbled into him that time. El Chapo was freshly sentenced, And they pulled a video out of the house. There's all that famous video. And thousands of sicarios flooded into the city on behalf of Ovidio and blocked the Mexican police and military from leaving with him. And they let him go. The president let him go. But this time in Culiacan, there were 200 special forces officers. This according to the defense minister, and local officials went on the news, or I mean the TV news, the radio, said everyone in Culiacan, which is a big city, shelter in place, stay inside, because there were pitched banners all around the city. Like I said, at least 19 Sinaloa guys or Ovidio's guys perished, 10 military personnel. And of course, Guzman's father, El Chapo, like I said, he escaped from Altiplano 7.5 years ago, July 11th, 2015. And he ended up getting that 30 years, life plus 30, and a $12 billion fine. Sinaloa is the birthplace of a big chunk of what we consider the whole, not so much the culture of smuggling, but the specific kind of the guys that are most famous, and the whole style of trafficking and control comes out of Sinaloa. And the arrest of Ovidio Guzman comes just days before Joe Biden and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau are going to visit Mexico City for the North American Leaders Summit. And that's how these things go a lot. People in power want to send a message to their somebody coming from the countries up north, Canada and the United States, that, hey, we can at least bring somebody into custody. And recently there was a data breach where, like, a Mexican hacker group, like a Mexican WikiLeaks, pulled a lot of documents, and some are from the Mexican military. And the Mexican military's own estimate was that 70% of the geographic landmass of Mexico is under the control of organized criminal groups. 70%. So this is a way for him to send a message to Biden and Trudeau that we're taking the country back, and we're going to use the armed forces to do it. It diffuses the power behind any ask from the Biden administration to, this gives some ability for Obrador to answer if Biden says, hey, if you don't stem meth and fentanyl, here's how we're going to penalize you economically. Though, of course, again, as anyone that has even a passing knowledge of how the illicit substance trade works globally, taking down, guys that are so-called leaders. I mean, there's a massive infrastructure, of course, required to produce these things in such large amounts and get them across the border. So I doubt if we see a slowdown. It's a $5 million reward for him and his brothers, the Los Chapitos, the little Chapos, who've been, some people say there's a Sinaloa civil war between them and El Mayo's sons, Maitos, but probably it's more so, Sinaloa is a federation. That's the word they use. It's separate groups who come together to work together. It's not that strict hierarchy, and probably smaller groups under El Mayo and under the Chapitos, or battling it out at the edges. I don't think per se there's an official dispute between Mayo and Chapitos. But again, somebody's going to get that $5 million reward. Now, not too long ago, one of their brothers, Edgar Guzman Lopez, one of the Chapitos, lost his life. So Ovidio and his other brothers got a hold to a bunch of money, and I guess they put that into these new 11 super labs. They were getting a lot of ephedrine from Argentina, which I assume maybe I don't know if Argentina makes ephedrine or they're getting it from India, and they were bringing it from Argentina into Mexico to turn into meth at their 11 super labs. They were also bringing in lots of yayo. Ovidio has been out. There's a story, and I've investigated more. Ovidio and his brothers were talking about they want some legal, they want a cookies type thing in the United States. And of course, lots of the, and I mean, I can tell you from just little birdies in my ear here in California, like if you call to make an order to get, especially like the light depths, maybe not necessarily the highest quality stuff, but if you need a couple 100 pounds of some good stuff here, some good light depth, might be some paisas show up who might be representing some people south of the border because they're putting up the money, and then they already have the existing sales structure with their customers. Hey, we got this stuff too. So the American domestic reefer growing industry, at least here in California, has been heavily infiltrated in some levels of it by the guys from south of the border. The very point of arresting Ovidio, of course, is to extradite him immediately to the U.S. where he can get a lengthy prison term along with his dad. But immediately, a Mexico City federal judge halted extradition proceedings. He did it this morning, on Friday, and because the U.S. is seeking his immediate extradition, they had that $5 million up, and said that the possible extradition of Guzman would not be immediate due to the formalities of the law. He stated that this is what the Mexico Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard said. They're going to have to go through the normal processes. They can't just whisk them over the border. And on Friday, the judge suspended a measure that prevented Guzman from communicating with his relatives and legal team. So when they first took him into custody for 24 hours, he couldn't talk to anybody. But of course, his lawyers went down and said that ain't right. So he's working out his plan right now.